Assalamu alaikum to all of you. I am Umar Qureshi from Dr. Sirajul Islam Medical College and I am in the 4th year. I am the team member of the Medimartt. Medimartt is a platform for the medical students. As you all know that we are regularly trying to share some short videos on different topics. So here we come with another video. This is a short video on the thoracic cage. Here in this video we will refer the A K Dutta, we will read line by line and we will explain all the things given in A K Dutta. So let's start. As you all can see that this is the thorax, okay, or the thoracic cavity you can say, or the thoracic cage you can say. Okay, so let's start. The thorax presents an osteocartilaginous, elastic and conical cavity. Now what is osteocartilaginous? Osteocartilaginous means it is composed of the bones and the cartilage. Now as you all can see that this is the sternum, so sternum is made up of the bones, then this is the rib is made up of the again the bones. Okay, then this is the vertebra, this is a vertebra, this is a vertebra, these two vertebrae, all of the vertebrae are the bones. Okay, but this thing over here that is connecting the ribs and the sternum is made up of the cartilage. Okay, that's basically called as the costal cartilage. Okay, then the disc intervening between the two vertebrae, this vertebra and this vertebra, this disc, okay, this whitish color disc is called as is also made up of the cartilage. Okay, now what is elastic and why it is elastic? As you all know that lungs are present inside just like that. Okay, and lungs help in the respiration. Okay, so in respiration our lungs like move up and down, so that's why this cavity is like elastic, it also moves with the lung. Okay, not much but little bit. Then the next point is it is conical cavity. As you can see that it is conical. Okay, you can see it is conical. Now the upper opening or the inlet being narrower. Okay, there are two openings, the upper opening or it is also called as the inlet, okay, and the inferior opening it is also called as the outlet. Okay, so the upper opening or the inlet being narrower, as you can see it is narrower, it is small than the like inferior opening or the outlet. So that's it is called as the upper opening or the inlet being narrower than the outlet. Now it is flattened anteroposteriorly. This point I will explain later. Next point is on cross section it is reniform in adult. Okay, understand that you are cutting it like that. Okay, on cross section it is reniform in adult. So this thing you will get like a kidney shaped. Okay, like a kidney shaped. What is kidney shaped? Kidney shaped is like that. Okay, so on cross section it is reniform in adult. The mid sagittal diameter being narrower. Okay, what is mid sagittal diameter? This mid sagittal diameter, this diameter, okay, this thing, okay, it is like this thing, it is narrower, and the parasagittal diameter, these diameters, let me show it again. When we will cut it like that, okay, so this diameter from the sternum to the ribs is narrower, and the parasagittal diameter like from these rib to this rib is like broader. Okay, because it is narrower and it is broader. So that's the point. Then in the newborn, however, the shape is rounded on cross section. Like when we will do a cross section in adult, it will be like kidney shaped, and in newborn maybe it will be a rounded shape. So that's the point. And one point left here was that it is flattened anteroposteriorly. So as you all can see that this is the anterior side and this is the posterior side. So when we will move towards the anterior to posterior, that's why it is called as the anteroposteriorly. So it is little bit a flattened type of thing. You can't see it right now, but it is flattened. Okay, just understand this thing, and it is not that much important. Now let's discuss the boundaries of the thoracic cage. Now what are the boundaries? Boundaries involves the like from behind, from in front, then from on each side. These are three main subdivisions in boundaries. Okay, first we will see the in front. Okay, as you all can see that in front there is a sternum. So sternum which consists of manubrium, okay, manubrium, then body, and then xiphoid process. Okay, manubrium lies opposite the bodies of T3 and T4. Okay, this point just remember, I will explain, it is not difficult to explain. Let us see. As this is the manubrium, okay, This is the manubrium. So it lies opposite to thoracic 3 and thoracic 4. So it is opposite to thoracic 3 and thoracic 4. So these are these two vertebrae, this vertebra and this vertebra. It is thoracic 3 and thoracic 4 vertebra. Now sternal body lies opposite to thoracic 5 to thoracic 8. Same thing. This is a sternal body up to here. This sternal body lies thoracic 5 to thoracic 8. Okay, that is the point. Now manubrial sternal joint or sternal angle corresponds with the lower border of thoracic 4. Okay. So as we all know that this joint is known as the manubrial sternal joint because it is formed between the manubrium and the body, the manubrium sternal joint, and it is also called as the sternal angle. So it lies opposite or it corresponds basically with the lower border of the thoracic 4. So assume that this is thoracic 4, so this is the lower border of it. So opposite to thoracic 4 vertebra and projects forwards, forming an important landmark. We all know that the sternal angle forms an important landmark. Okay. So it basically forms an important landmark and it is slightly projects forwards. You can see it is coming like that and it is projecting forwards. Okay. It may be ossified after 60 years. Okay. This joint that is known as the manubrial sternal joint, it is ossified after 16 years. What does that mean? Means something, it is like a cartilage or something, like it is not actually the bone. Okay. It is not actually that type of bone. So ossification means forming into the bone or converting into the bone. Okay. A cartilage converting into the bone. So this thing, it converts in a bone totally after 60 years of age. Okay. Till then it is like the cartilage or type of thing. Okay. Then Ziphy sternal joint, it corresponds with the intervertebral disc. Okay. Now this is the Ziphy sternal joint. Okay. It corresponds with the intervertebral disc. This is the intervertebral disc. This white color here, this white color, the disc that is intervening between the two vertebrae is called as the intervertebral disc. Okay. So what it is saying that Ziphy sternal joint corresponds with the intervertebral disc between the thoracic 8 and thoracic 9. Assume that this is the thoracic 8 and this is thoracic 9. So it is intervening between like it is corresponding the intervertebral disc. Now it is replaced by bone after 40 years. So this is also a cartilage. Okay, this joint, that is Ziphy sternal joint, it is also cartilage. It is converted into the bone after 40 years and this manubrial sternal joint, it is converted into the bone after 60 years. Okay. And the second point is anterior part of the ribs and their costal cartilages. Okay. What we were discussing about the like boundary at the in front. Okay. So at the in front there was sternum and the anterior margins, or you can say the anterior part of the ribs. Okay. These are the anterior part of the ribs. Okay. So this is also involved in it. Anterior parts of the ribs and their costal cartilages. I already told you that this is the costal cartilage and this is the ribs. So anterior part of the ribs and their costal cartilage. Now on each side there are 12 ribs present. We can see that this is a rib, this is a rib. So all these ribs are 12 ribs. Okay. The ribs and their cartilages are separated by 11 intercostal spaces. These ribs and their cartilages are separated, means this is a rib and this is attached with a cartilage to the sternum, then this is a rib, this is again attached with the cartilage with the sternum. So that is what it is saying, that the ribs and their cartilages are separated by 11 intercostal space. Assume that this is the first intercostal space. What is intercostal space? Intercostal space is a space between the two ribs, as this is the rib 1, rib 2. So this intercostal space is called as the first intercostal space. Okay. What is intercostal? Intercostal means between the costal. Costal means the ribs. Okay. So between the costal, and space means a gap or something, space you know already. Okay. So that is why it is called as the intercostal space. So this is the first intercostal space, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Okay. So the 12th ribs, the ribs and the cartilages are separated by the 11 intercostal spaces. Okay. The last two spaces being open in front, as we can see the last two, this is the last, this is the 10th intercostal, this is 11th. So these two intercostal spaces are being open in front. Okay. Then the intercostal spaces are occupied by the intercostal muscles, vessels and nerve. So this intercostal space, it is occupied by the intercostal muscles. Okay. intercostal muscles are present here or attached here with the vessels and nerves. Intercostal vessels and intercostal nerves are also present. Okay. So, these three are the main contents of the intercostal space. Remember this thing, okay, because it is very important. Now, the next point is from behind. We will see like boundaries of the thoracic cage from behind. So, from behind body of the 12th thoracic vertebra. So, this is the vertebra, this is the vertebra. So, that is why it is called as the body of the 12th thoracic vertebra. So, how it is vertebra? What is body? Basically, in vertebra there are several main parts. Okay. It is like that. Okay. It is a vertebra. Okay. This is a superarticular facet, this is a spinous process, that just like that. So, it is a body. Okay. So, this body is basically like forms the posterior border or like boundary of the thoracic cage, because it is like that. Here the sternum is present, okay, and just like that it is forming. So, it is a body of the 12th thoracic vertebra, all the thoracic vertebrae, and their intervening disc. Now, what is intervening disc? I already told you that the disc between the two vertebra is called as the intervening disc. This is the intervening disc. This thing is the intervening disc. Okay. Then the next point is this part of the vertebral column is concave anteriorly. Okay. Now, what it is saying? Let us see. It is really easy. It is concave anteriorly. You can see that from above. Okay. It is coming like it is convex, then it is concaving. Okay. It becomes concave, just like that. It is concave. So, this part of the vertebral column, this thoracic part is of the vertebral column is concave ventrally. Ventrally means in front. Okay. And it is also called as the primary curvature. Then the next point is the posterior part of the ribs extending up to the posterior angles. Okay. The posterior part of the ribs extending up to the posterior angles. Now, as in front there was a sternum, there was the costal cartilage of the ribs, and there was the anterior part of the ribs. Okay. Just like that, in behind there will be like all 12 thoracic vertebrae and their intervening disc, and the posterior part of the ribs. There will be a posterior part of the ribs, just like that there is a anterior part, there is a posterior part of the ribs also. The posterior part of the ribs extending up to the posterior angles. There are two angles in a rib. Okay. One is the posterior angle present at the posterior side here, okay, and one is the anterior angle present at the anterior side here. Okay. So, posterior part of the ribs extending up to the this portion. It is saying that this portion up to the posterior angles. Now, transverse processes of the vertebra are pushed backwards and medially by the backward sweep of the ribs. Okay. When these ribs are attached to the like vertebrae, it basically sweeps backward the transverse process of the vertebra. It is not important, just remember this thing that bodies of 12 thoracic vertebra and their intervening disc and posterior part of the ribs with extending up to the posterior angle. So, these are the things. Okay. So, basically these are the boundaries. The next things we will discuss in the later videos, inshallah. If you love the video, then please do mention your friends and please do invite your friends, and please share it as much as possible, because it gives us motivation to make more videos like this, and thanks a lot.